We Need Each Other by José Pérez, Miss.
A common thread of creational laws and recommendations is, in my own words, the idea of change and fulfillment, like a far-reaching natural process to an end for all living beings. G. The law of becoming and passing. The law of cause and effect, the law of determination, and so on, wisely outlined by Billy in Goblet of the Truth, 2008-2015, and Might of the Thoughts, 1998-2012, just to mention a few. Through this constant state of motion one day, one may choose a field of study and get admitted to the university to build a profession. From that day on, I learned about the mechanisms of change, a central subject to any practitioner in the field of psychology. However, despite the intellectual knowledge acquired through insightful lectures, mandatory readings and years of practice, the same questions I once asked in the beginning of my career remained much later unanswered. How do we change? What do we need to get there? A myriad of reflections can be taken for an answer. Namely, people change when they are ready to change, or this approach works better in this case. In my opinion, the subject of change is much more complex than we may think. Also, pondering the contribution of culture and traditions is essential, and these factors are not to be taken lightly. So my intention here is merely to reflect briefly on the place we are and look at the path that in a pressing manner needs to unfold. Every day we witness from afar the horrors of wars and the countless lives lost in such acts of destruction, up to the point that there is no difference anymore between someone killed in a science fiction movie and those dying miles away. Our eyes and cognitions are exposed to so many conditioning factors that we are learning a pervasive mode of functioning. In other words, like soldiers and civilians in the middle of war, we are now trapped and wounded. Our lives are shaped in more than one way. In principle, we all have good and bad memories that in a matter of seconds may recall experiences either to make us sad or happy. Through life, we develop abilities as well to cope with relationships and events that are important in our everyday lives. But as a common factor, nothing occurs on a remote island disconnected from any society. On the contrary, our dearest reality became into existence precisely through the intervention and making of other human beings. That is, our paths since childhood crossed those of others, and ideas of all sorts were imprinted upon us. We also experienced deception very early and learned that our parents or tutors had tremendous limitations to support and nurture even their own. These and many others are primary experiences from which our character is built. Painful or fulfilling experiences create an emotional force through space and time that, if it is oriented in the right direction, will indeed promote change. Just as we, willingly or not, hurt each other, we need each other to keep going and fill in the blanks when the time comes to make sense of the past. Billy mentions in his book Might of the Thoughts, 1998, original text, 2012, English version, that in serious mental cases we must seek professional help, and I couldn't agree more. Although if we don't have any grave condition, are we less in need of support from people in those fields? Answering this is not quite simple. Even a mild health condition as a rule tends to be overlooked. Otherwise, clever human beings and responsible professionals exist everywhere, but still we barely search for them, because our trust, in a certain way, is wounded. Psychotherapy or counseling could be perceived too as a threat to our fragile boundaries, because these resources are like needles and syringes. They reach deep under our skin, causing some level of pain at the same time. Nutrients or antibiotics are delivered. When bones break, doctors are called, and when our loved ones die, one can use a shoulder to lean on. Friends, with a strong connection, or a couple, may play a significant role to deal with troubles in life, but they are not responsible for our growth. We are, always. In few words, multiple challenges and barriers are faced in our quest to change for the better. but we must dig deeper, individually or collectively, to remove so much debris, so we shall discover in time the outstanding matter we are made of. I've met many skilled professionals along my career and private life with good techniques to deal with the core of people's personalities. And at least for my own benefit, two powerful tools I learned from them: talking and listening. They are of tremendous value to organize, create thoughts, and help others to become self-sufficient with their experiences. These tools are without doubt the basis of any good relationship. Our consciousness-based abilities relentlessly observe from behind our inner walls, waiting to unfold their full potential and be of use. A change for the better means a lot of restructuring, in which at least two parts are involved, one talking and one listening, like a bow and arrow aiming for the fulfillment of a mission. A sense of creational processes in all this is of utmost importance to put everything in perspective. So finding professional help, if needed or afforded, is only a good place to start and, by far, not the only mean one may use to make improvements or move forward. The constant state of motion and change in our development never ends. Once a stage is fulfilled, the next one awaits. The path is indeed different for each one of us. Yet any endeavor along other human beings is an opportunity to find ourselves in them, in the we. We need each other to heal first, and thus consequently evolve. Note: capitalized we in some parts of the text is intended for emphasis.